G'day and welcome to ReDriven. Now look, we'd all love to be able to spend a few $100,000 on our daily transport, but the reality is the vast majority of us, we're on a pretty tight budget. But the good news is there are some awesome cars out there for under $10,000. Now look, this week we're going to do the top 5 list a little bit differently. So rather than having the top 5 as place getters, we're going to split it up into different categories. So 5th is going to be like a smallish car, 4th is going to be a large car, 3rd is going to be like a medium-ish kind of SUV, 2nd is going to be a large SUV slash kind of off-roader, and 1st is going to be a bit more luxurious, performance-orientated, something a little bit more special. However, even though we will be quoting Australian pricing in this list because the price of cars in Australia are generally more expensive than what they are in, say, the US or the UK, we're hoping that the 10 grand budget will suit cars in your local market. So here we go, our top 5 cars under $10,000. Taking out the smallish car segment, it's the Mazda 3. Here in Australia, 10 grand should get you into a second generation 2008 to 2013 Mazda 3. And the trim level that we'd go for is the SP25. The 2.5 litre SP25 offers more power, torque, and engaging driving dynamics than its smaller displacement siblings. And even though the SP25 at this price will probably have well over 100,000 kilometres on it, as long as it has a solid service history and has been cared for, should provide years of reliable motoring. Plus, the SP25 is supremely practical in both hatch and sedan body styles, has a stylish interior for this price, and especially in the SP25 trim, looks great with its subtle body kit and alloy wheels. In 4th place, taking out the larger car segment, it's the Honda Accord. For the $10,000 budget, we'd recommend looking at 8th generation Honda Accords from 2008 to 2015. In the US, this was actually called an Acura TSX. And this isn't fair. The US, Japan, and Europe had a cool-looking wagon version of this, but we never got that. It's not fair. This generation Accord is superb to drive. It's totally practical, it looks fantastic, and the interior is aging really well, both in terms of design and fit and finish. Plus, being a Honda, has excellent build quality, and look, as long as it has been serviced and maintained correctly, it should be incredibly reliable. Plus, if you're enthusiastic about your driving, they can be had with a manual transmission. This next category feels like it's basically taking over the world. It's the medium-ish kind of SUV category. And our pick is arguably the car that started it all in the first place. It's the Toyota RAV4. For the $10,000 budget, the RAV4 generation you'll be looking at is the 3rd gen 2006 to 2012. And the trim levels that we'd recommend is either the 4-cylinder cruiser spec, or if you can find one, the 6-cylinder CV6 spec. While it might be tempting to spec up to a leather-lined model, we're actually finding that the fabric trim interiors on the lower spec models are standing the test of time a little bit better. And look, even though all RAV4s at this price point will have loads of kilometres on them, being Toyotas, mechanically, as long as they have thorough service histories, they should provide years of trouble-free motoring. My personal pick is finding one of the 6-cylinder RAV4s with a solid service history and in really good condition, because these things are hugely underrated. Okay, next up we have the large SUV slash off-roader category, and this was a tough one because there are quite a few vehicles that were perfect for this spot, but we've decided to go with one that we feel is massively underrated. It's the Mitsubishi Pajero, or Montero, or Shogun. Here in Australia, for the $10,000 budget, you'll be looking at the 3rd generation 1999 to 2006 Pajero. And look, yes, chances are they'll have loads of kilometres on them and they might not be in pristine condition. But look, as long as they have a solid service history, they haven't been abused, and you go and watch our ultimate 4x4 buyer's guide video before you go to inspect one, you should end up with a great buy for this budget. The Pajero is more of a grand tourer than a true rock crawler, but with some intelligent mods, these things can eat up kilometres as well as tackling some seriously tough terrain. Plus, they're really spacious, they offer loads of practicality, and they are available as 7-seaters. Okay, before we get to first place, I need to ask a favour. Can you guys please hit those like, subscribe, and bell icon buttons? It really does help us out immensely. And after the video, go and follow us on all the socials as well. Finally, taking out the luxury slash performance slash fun category, it's the Lexus IS250. Here in Australia, 10 grand should get you behind the wheel of a 2nd generation 2005 to around about 2009 IS250. Okay, yes, there are better outright performance cars available for under $10,000, but we feel the IS250 perfectly blends luxury and sophistication with genuine practicality, really good levels of safety, excellent driving dynamics, and a genuinely respectable amount of performance. Plus, being a Lexus, it should be ultra reliable, it's beautifully built, and for under 10 grand, it just offers so much car for the money. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and hey, what did you think of the list? Let us know in those comments below. And hey, while you're at it, can you remember to hit those like, subscribe, and bell icon buttons? I can't say it enough, it really does help us out. And hey, go and follow us on all the socials. See you next time. G'day and welcome to ReDriven. Now look, we'd all be... The reality is, I've forgotten what my lines are. The vast majority of us are in a pretty... While we will be quoting Australian pricing, because the... And the trim, as long as they have been, as long as they have thorough service histories, you dickhead. Okay. The 6-cylinder CV6 spec. Fucking hard to say.